Alright, so I played a game recently called Luminous Underground. One thing I'll make clear, the premise is cool. It is about what is pretty much a team of Ghostbusters, only a little different, with its own quirks and whatnot. This is a strong point, but I for whatever reason was bored. Reading a few pages, stepping away for a second, checking some site, having a sip of my tea, and then realizing I'm out of, so I get a drink, going to play with a dog, etc, etc, and then returning and going, oh, it's still here. For whatever reason, the game just didn't grab me at all, so whenever I recommend it or not, I am a little lost. For one, I see nothing explicitly wrong with it, nothing I specifically complain about, but if I was trying to figure out if I would recommend to myself or not, then I'd say no, confidently. I don't think playing through it was interesting enough, but I 100% could see someone having a completely different experience. What did I like? Well, like I already said, the premise. Demons or daemons, whatever they are. I think it's just a spelling thing. They are pronounced as demons. Those guys are some strange entities attracted to electricity and neural activity of living creatures. They come in all sorts of varieties down to harmless wisps, one of which is kept as a pet by the group of people in the story. The demons, though, can be disruptive and dangerous, so the player is focused on preventing the possible ruckus. Thing is, though, the tools used are what can only be called magic and proton packs, so it's even more crazy than Ghostbusters. I've liked that there's an idea that there are strings, invisible, but capable of affecting things in a myriad of different ways, and one can train to use them and bend them to his will. They can trap demons, be used for teleportation, combat, or possibly power machinery and all sorts of things. Looking at it objectively, it is just magic. Only the idea of the invisible strings gives it a cool, unique spin, which reminds me of ley lines, also a pretty common concept in fiction, but turned up to 11. Sadly, there wasn't enough of it, though. I'd have liked more things to do with magic other than use luminosity to fix the problem. You're presented with it, and it's just fixed. There's no variety to the choices in that regard. Aside from that, there's another really cool event which happens, and it's a major early game spoiler, by the way, so 3, 2, 1. There's a couple trapped in a painting. They were in such a state for nearly a century. For them it was like a dream. They could hear something happening on the outside, but for the most part it's all an almost instantaneous blur. One moment drawing it, other they are woken up by the player years later. I also think I've heard of such an idea before. I think it was Witcher 3 Heart of Stone had something like that, but not like this. Here it's treated way differently. It's a new story, but that's not the important part. The people trapped are out of their element. They remember still being in school just recently, and now a sibling of one of them is an old man, old enough to be their great-grandpa. Everything is different. The sheer weight of it is stunning, and they have to somehow deal with it. That is, again, such a unique spin to such a cool idea. I've loved that, and it felt pretty much like a side quest while on the job. But yet it was such a huge story, and one of them actually joins the player's agency. Strange recruiting process, huh? But then I stopped short. What else did I like? Nothing. I struggle to remember much of anything, even while having the game open as I'm saying this. There's two very big, but still only 2 points were what was driving me to play in the first place. It is clear the writer has a nice, unique perspective on things, even if the ideas aren't revolutionary. They are done in a very interesting way. I'd love to see the same person tackle something else, something generic, and give it such a spin that it feels amazingly new. But maybe with an editor who would tone down the description, speed up a slow bit, slow down the action, and pay more attention to things which actually need it. As is, I would definitely complain about those. It's not like there are paragraphs of colorful descriptions of doors, or something along those lines. But there's only so long it kept my attention. I was sucked in plenty of times now. In games like Ironheart, Tally Ho, Fox Spirit, Choice of Magics, just from the top of my head. And all of them I couldn't put down. Even if they were not flawless, some more than others, I was sucked in. I wanted to know more, to keep going. Here, not so much. I'd say it is an interesting beast. For the name alone, I was very curious to try it, but that is all. I just feel sad saying this, because I won't love it. It sounds so cool! Magical Ghostbusters, for God's sake! But I can't pretend like I did love it.